Welcome back to another episode of That Boat Babe on YouTube with your favorite boat babe here, MaryAllison. Today, I'm applying wallpaper to the bathrooms on my sailboat. On Rhiannon, I have two heads. One has the shower and it's in the aft stateroom, and it's a place that I wanted to be a little bit more feminine, and since Seth and his friend Matt redid the countertops and put in black sinks with black hardware, it brought out the creamy yellowy color in the walls. That's original. And it dated the boat, but it kind of gave it a mixture of like newness with funky oldness. I didn't think it blended very well. And so I think putting up removable wallpaper is going to be a really great idea. The forward head is for the kids, and it has a lot more wall space in there. It is an enclosed shower in itself that they don't use. So it's just the toilet and the sink, but we've added the washing machine in there, which was why we had to redo the sinks, the countertops, and the hardware in the first place, was because I found a really awesome washing machine on Amazon that fit perfectly on the counter, but with the attachment that it had to hook up to the water, it wasn't compatible with the old faucet anymore. In replacing the faucet, we ended up having to replace the sink, because the sink wasn't compatible with the new faucet. And when we removed the sink, the countertop came with it. So that ended up being a huge project in itself that actually turned out to be beautiful. As you can see, I'm already a big fan of removable wallpaper. I actually applied this years ago and it's held up really well. My reasoning for putting this up was I just wanted to lighten up the space. And also right here, there was a leak from years ago where the previous owners had stored the boat, and a drain plug, I think, had either come undone in the cockpit and a lot of rain had run down the wall, down this wall, behind the cabinet, and across the floor. It was something I just wasn't going to replace the wood, so I just decided removable wallpaper was another really good option. This wallpaper is really inexpensive. It's from Target or Home Depot, and it was honestly more difficult to put up than I expected because it's really thin and it's really flimsy, and it's not as durable as the new wallpaper that I got. Here is the new wallpaper that I got from Etsy. I bought it from the Spoonflower store, meaning I guess it's Spoonflower brand. But the other wallpaper that I purchased was from another store, and it's also Spoonflower, and they shipped together, so I'm not exactly sure how that works. So here is this one. I actually really like this wallpaper. It seems really durable. It's really thick. The only issue is that I am applying it on a boat, and they said to avoid applying this in bathrooms because of the humidity. We do have two new AC units on the boat that we run pretty much all the time right now, and it takes a lot of the humidity out of the air. The forward head I'm not worried about because we don't shower in there. The aft one gets really humid. I'm not sure how well the wallpaper is going to hold up, but I'm thinking we might just have to add a fan in there or keep the door open when we shower, but we'll see how it goes. This design is called Coastal Heron, and I actually thought the herons were going to be a lot smaller, but I think because the wall space in the forward head is pretty large, I think it'll look really good. I am trying to stay away from gray colored tones on our boat because so much of the wood is a warm tone, so much of the furniture is a warm tone, but it's mixed with a little bit of gray. But if I get too much gray, I don't like it. So I tried to stay away from the gray, even though I do have the hint of the light blue because that matches the color scheme in the forward bedroom. And then I added a little bit of the black just to make it pop. And I really think this is going to look really good. For the space that I'm filling in this bathroom, like for the wall space, I ended up getting 3 rolls of wallpaper. The total ended up being about $280 per bathroom, but I might have completely mismeasured. I don't know if I can return any of the rolls or not, but I would rather be safe than sorry and have too much than have too little. When we put in the new sinks, I decided to go with the matte black just because, I don't know, I kind of thought it kept the boat a little timeless. I knew that a white sink would look really harsh against the walls, and the boat came with cream colored sinks that matched the walls that I didn't like. But unfortunately in this bathroom we have to have a silver faucet. I bought it, whatever, it works with the washing machine, and that was basically its main use. So this one's not matte black like the one in the back, but I think it's gonna be fine. So the wallpaper that I got for the aft bathroom is called Somewhere on a Beach. It's the light sand, and I actually am so in love with it. It's really feminine, and it's gonna match my, you know, kind of a pinkish vibe that I have back here mixed with some white. And I think it's gonna look really good. I wanted to add the black accents to match the black sink and the black hardware, and I'm in love with it. Because of the thickness of the wallpaper, I think it's going to be really easy to apply. I wanted to start in the forward bathroom though, because it has such a larger surface to start playing with. I wanted to get the hang of it before I moved on to the back. To apply your wallpaper, I have a lot of denatured alcohol on the boat. I use it for so many projects. So wipe down your walls with denatured alcohol, get all the dust off, anything off, sticky stuff off, remove any hardware. Last night, I removed a handle that was on the wall, and this morning I removed a screw where I guess the previous owners had had a string run across the bathroom where they would dry their clothes. I think it's a really great idea, but I just went ahead and took it off for right now. I'm going to probably go buy a new one or somehow put another string up, because I do think it's a great idea to dry your clothes in there. It doesn't get a whole lot of airflow, but I'm thinking with the window open, it might get some, because it's in the forward part of the boat where we do get a good breeze. The next thing you need is some kind of a scraper. I got this scraper when I reordered the name, the vinyl for the back of my boat. I guess I accidentally put it in my cart, but I've actually used this thing a ton. It's really strong and like sturdy. You can get them also at Home Depot or at Ace Hardware that are a little bit more flimsy, but I really like this one because it really like shoves the paper up against the, like the, you know, the angle of the wall or like in the corners. Okay, and I've talked about this in a previous video. These razor blades come in handy for so many projects. Get these tiny little blades. I've used box cutters in the past, but these are sharper. So use this little blade to cut your wallpaper at the seam. And also if you needed to slice off any of the backing paper, if it kind of bunches up in the back. And you just need a pair of scissors. Here is our galley where we applied vinyl countertops that look like black marble, and I'm absolutely in love with how it turned out. And this is where I got a lot of practice before I applied the wallpaper in the bathrooms. I have the weirdest lighting in here, and we are rocking back and forth because of, we just had this hurricane off the coast, then it swapped to a north wind. So the boat doesn't know what it's doing. So I'm looking at the top, and it looks like I'm going to be able to start from the corner of this wallpaper. I've already wiped down the walls. I've already removed hardware, and it looks like I can start from the top. This has a ½ inch overlap. I've never had to use that before because I haven't applied a pattern like this, I don't think, where it needs to line up. But I think once I start, it's going to be pretty self-explanatory. Okay, one thing that I'm already kind of bummed about that makes this a little difficult. Obviously, this is meant for a wall in a house. And first of all, nothing on a boat's that square. Second, I need to cut this off at the bottom, and I need it to be a decent straight line. And I'm not really going to get that unless I use this as a straight edge. So I'm just kind of gonna eye this right here. Okay, my battery died. I'm back. The best way to start the wallpaper is to start with a corner. I fold back a tiny bit of the wallpaper backing, flatten it out, and just stick that one little corner. The biggest thing is like keeping the wallpaper up against the wall onto, like right now, like onto the left side. The top I'm not too worried about. I'm gonna just use a blade and cut that off because I'm not really trying to keep it even on this side because it's at an angle anyway. So I'm just gonna have to line up with the, I think the pattern is gonna be. with my second large roll. I just did the countertops. This is a little bit harder, honestly. The issue is going to be this line right here. I'm going to have to cut as close to this piece of wood as I can. I can pull it down because right now it's too big of a piece. So I'm going to have to cut this off. Okay. This is just a slow process. This one is a textured wallpaper. I think you can get one that's smoother. I actually really like the textured one. I feel like it gets bubbles out really well. Once you get to a certain stopping point, you've got a lot of the paper back here just hanging out. You can go ahead and cut that off. It's getting a little tough getting closer to the bottom, so I'm going to trim off the white paper again. I'm gonna get everything out of my space. There's so much paper. Yeah, that's working. I'm just shoving it in there. Ah, no. There we go. Oh, that is actually turning out beautiful. Like, I've been able to get basically every bubble out that I can see. Let's see how it works on the bottom. There we go. Cool. Okay, now I just have to use the razor blade and work out the corners. I'm pushing up on the paper, but this is that tedious part. Takes some time, and I don't know how easy this paper is going to be to cut. Okay, it looks like this paper is really thick. I'm going to use the spatula, scraper, whatever. Shove this in as much as I can into these corners. And instead of slicing like right in the seam of, let's say, this piece of wood in your wall, you want to stay off of it just a little bit, because you'd be surprised how much paper actually settles and squeezes itself underneath the seam of your wall and like this piece of wood. These things usually come really natural to me, and I can just whiz through this. But because I spent such a pretty penny on this paper, I'm trying so hard to take my time. This might take me a couple days. Oh, that looks so good though. So far, it's adorable. Okay, this second piece is really hard. I'm trying to line up the pattern, because if I lay it right here, the pattern's off. So if I lay it on top of the bird, I know the pattern's gonna be on. So I've got my handy dandy blue tape. The bottom is not the easiest to cut. I think that'll be good. Okay, I think that ended up good. Now that I got it on at the top, I can start peeling from here. I hope I'm literally not giving you a side boob this whole time. I got a new blade. It helps a ton. Oh my gosh. I thought I was going crazy. Oh, so much easier. Yay. There we go. I have this small section and none of the paper that I have left over will line up with the birds. I'm at a stopping point to eat lunch. I'm honestly surprised how hard this is. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I should be measuring. Maybe I should have a template that I put on the back that I can cut out. But trying to connect the bird feet with the other bird feet and the body with the neck, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. After eating lunch, taking a little 15-minute meditation. I really thought that I could have this done today. I just don't know if I have it in me. What I've realized is with doing removable wallpaper, I guess any kind of wallpaper with a pattern, the legs have to meet up with the legs. And I ran out of longer sheets of wallpaper. So like this is one sheet, this is one sheet, and my little leggies don't add up perfectly. So for the rest of it, for this little area and then down here and then underneath, I'm gonna have to just piece pieces together. So since I have this in my hand, I might as well use that down there, and then I'm gonna work my way that way. The wiggle foot. I can't get it in there. So having a little bit of an overlay of your paper, either left or right or up and down, is totally ideal. But then there's the happy medium of you can have too much and it's almost impossible to lay this paper. This tiny little guy. And look how tired I look. I found him. I found it. So I just have to stick it on now. Okay, this actually turned out to be about like a 10 out of 10. This is so cute. It only took me the entire day. The yellow looks so good. Those little hair and legs with the wood. The black looks awesome with the sink. And this is so cute. The hardest part was lining up like the head when you're done with a piece right here, lining the head up with the next head, and then trying to create these angles and then continuing it like down here. On to the next bathroom. Welcome back to day 2 of wallpaper. This is actually like day 4. I have been contemplating continuing only because it gets super humid in this bathroom and I don't want to waste this wallpaper if it's going to just slowly sink down my walls because the adhesive gets too wet. I think it's going to be okay. Worst comes to worst, I'm just going to have to do a video on how to keep your removable wallpaper from coming off your wall due to the humidity. I think I want that handle off. As much as I love these handles, and I would love to think that we're actually finally sailing and I have to use them, but I kind of like the idea of like the sleek look of wallpaper on this wall. That's weird. Like usually I put a screw in there and it just... Got it.
Look at this. Look at this.
I don't think I'm going to put this back on. Here's the plan. This area is the longest space that I need a continuous strip. This one's short, short, oddly short, short. I still have to match those patterns up over there, but I think if I start, and this little strip right here, I'm not worrying about it quite yet. It's really close to the shower, so I might not even wallpaper there. Let's just see how this looks. Okay, this must be the 72-inch one. The other bathroom, I must have ordered the 96-inch one. And I have to cut this perfectly for the rest of it to go here. And then I have another roll that I can do here. And then I'm going to have to piece the other roll together. But at least the umbrellas are pretty similar looking. With the herons, I had to like piece together their body parts. I think this is going to be easier. Okay, I got the blue tape. I didn't start off with that last time, and it made it difficult. Start with this. I kind of just want to get it like in the area that it's supposed to be in right now, just so I can work on the bottom. This is a bit of a disaster. This is why it took me about 8 hours to do the other bathroom. I have an idea. I flipped the paper because this space is pretty square. I'm going to secure it as if I'm going to tape it this way, all the way down to the floor. Let me tape the top. I'm gonna have my hard line on this edge right here. That way when I flip it over, I should be able to just smack it on the wall and it'll be fine. This section's a little awkward because as easy as it looks to put up a piece of paper flat over this whole area, there's a mirror. So I'm cutting out what is over the mirror, and then I'm going to start at the top and try to shove it all in these corners. I learned that the tedious parts of this project were actually the most important because when you mess up on a big spot, it tends to catch your eye during the day-to-day. And after some struggle and cutting of lots of different sections to line up the prints, I finally got that wall complete and it's on to the next little area. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you love boat DIY, go ahead and subscribe and share this video with all of your friends. If you love podcasts, follow That Boat Babe on your favorite podcast platform.